In this video, we're going to learn about the creaming method. In all of our baking methods, our first step is going to be to start with properly scaled ingredients, which I have here. To begin our creaming method, I'm going to start by adding room temperature fat into my mixer. I'm using butter today. Shortening is also another fat that could be used, or even lard. I'm now going to mix my fat just to get it broken down a bit, using about a medium speed on my mixer. All right, I'm now going to add my sugar to my fat. I'm going to start the speed on about a low or medium low just to get it all combined, and then I'm going to push it up to about a medium to get our creaming going. So if you can see down into the bowl, my fat and my sugar are starting to cream together, but it's still looking kind of chunky, very grainy with that sugar there. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow this to cream. The texture and color of this is going to change. We're using butter, so there's a little bit of a yellow hint to it. We're going to go ahead and cream this. We're going to incorporate air, so it's going to expand in volume, the color is going to lighten, and the texture is going to lighten well. It's going to become a much smoother product. So we're going to go ahead and turn this mixer back on and allow this to cream. It's going to take probably 3 to 5 minutes. So once this is creamed, we'll check back in and go on to our next step. So it's been about 3 minutes of mixing at a medium speed, and our fat and sugar are creamed well together. Go ahead and pull some of this up. Okay. So as you can see, we have a much smoother consistency. We also have that lighter color. It's much more fluffy looking, and this is exactly what we want to see for our creamed fat and sugar. So our next step is going to be to incorporate the eggs. What's going to be important when incorporating the eggs is we're going to incorporate them in batches. So I'm going to incorporate them about 1 egg at a time. I'm going to turn my mixer off. I'm going to add the egg in. I'm going to turn it back on, let it incorporate, turn it off, add it back in, and I'm going to incorporate it, like I said, about 1 egg at a time. This is going to be important so that my eggs don't curdle. If we add them all in at once, they may not combine well, so we'd end up with this kind of chunky looking mixture at the end instead of the nice smooth mixture that I'm going to show you once we're done. Add in my 1 egg. So you can see down into the bowl that the mixture has incorporated well. It doesn't look stringy or greasy or watery. It looks like a nice fluffy base, which is exactly what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my second egg. And if you look now down into the bowl, you can see that it is looking a little bit kind of chunky and watery, maybe greasy. This means that I need to mix more, right? I wouldn't want to stop now and add in my next egg. I want to really make sure I mix this until it's well incorporated like we saw before. All right, at this point I'm going to stop. I'm going to drop my bowl down. I'm just going to scrape down the paddle, the sides of my bowl, along the bottom of the bowl. And this is just going to help make sure that I have a nice, well-combined mixture, okay, that I'm getting all those eggs mixed in with that creamed base that I made, instead of having some of that cream base stuck to the side or bottom of the bowl. Lift my bowl back up, add in my next egg. And my last egg. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just take this bowl off so I can give you a good shot of what we're looking for here. I'm also going to take this opportunity to give my bowl and my paddle a nice scrape. Really get the sides of that bowl nicely into the bottom. Make sure I have all that creamed base and then my eggs mixed well together. And you can see here this really nice, light, fluffy mixture that I've made with my creamed fat and sugar and now my eggs. And this is exactly what I want. Notice it doesn't look soupy, it doesn't look greasy, it doesn't look stringy. It's this nice, light, fluffy mixture. And that is going to be exactly what we're looking for the base for our creamy method. It's going to add nice air and provide some leavening into our product. So go ahead and scrape this all off. Get this set back up. Okay. So our next step is we're going to add our dry and liquid ingredients. So I have all of my dry ingredients, which includes my flour and my salt and my baking powder mixed together here and sifted. And then I have my liquid ingredients. In this case, we're using milk, and our vanilla extract is also included in our liquid ingredient. So I'm going to add these ingredients in turn, starting and ending with my dry. So this ratio that I'm using wants 4 additions of dry ingredients and 3 additions of liquid. So it'll be dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, wet, dry, starting and ending with dry. For each addition, I'm going to stop the mixer, add about 1/4 of my dry or 1/3 of my liquid, turn the mixer back on until it's mix until it's well incorporated, and then repeat. All right, so let's get started. going to start by adding just approximately a quarter of my dry ingredients. Notice I'm mixing on a pretty slow speed here as well. I don't want all that dry ingredient to plume up out of the bowl. Okay, so a nice slow addition is going to help get that well incorporated. All right, my dry ingredients are incorporated. Going to add approximately a third of my wet ingredients. Another quarter of my dry. That's all well combined. Okay. Third of my liquid. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and scrape down the sides of my bowl just to make sure that there's nothing stuck on the sides or bottom of the bowl. This is just going to help ensure even mixing. Next quarter of my dry. I'm going to add my last addition of my wet. And I'm going to scrape down the side of my bowl just one more time before I add my last addition of my dry ingredients. Going to go ahead and add my last addition of my dry ingredients. Okay, and you can see I have my lovely light and fluffy cake batter using my creaming method. There's no lumps. It incorporated all that air from that nice cream we developed. It doesn't look curdled because we added the eggs in our small batches and then our milk and our flour in our small batches. And this is exactly what we wanted to see. Let's review. First, we're going to begin our creaming method by creaming together the fat and sugar until the base becomes light and fluffy. Next, we're going to slowly add our eggs into our creamed base, one egg at a time, to ensure that the eggs don't curl. Finally, we're going to alternate adding our dry and wet ingredients, starting and ending with our dry.